Hey, let's talk about coffee. That cup you're holding right now, or maybe the one you're dreaming about. It is so much more than just a warm drink. It's a chemical powerhouse, a global obsession, and we are about to dive into the incredible science behind it all.
I mean, have you ever actually stopped mid-sip and just wondered, what is going on in there? What is this magic that's creating that amazing flavor, giving you that buzz, and let's be honest, turning you into a functional human being? Well, today, we're going to find out.
All right, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll look at what's actually in your cup. Then, we're going to follow the bean on its wild ride from plant to roaster. After that, we'll get into the science of the brew itself, then explore how coffee literally hacks your brain. And finally, we'll ask the big question, is it a helpful habit or maybe a bit of a crutch?
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1. Sure, there are hundreds of compounds that give coffee that incredible aroma and taste, but let's not kid ourselves. When we talk about the kick from coffee, we are really talking about one thing, the most popular psychoactive substance on the entire planet. And you know what I'm talking about, caffeine.
So how much are we dealing with here? Well, on average, a standard 8-ounce cup of drip coffee has about 95 milligrams of caffeine. Think about that. That is a very specific dose of alertness that billions with a B of us rely on every single day. But how does that number really stack up against other drinks?
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. A lot of us just assume that espresso is the ultimate caffeine bomb, right? But would you look at that? A single shot actually has way less caffeine than a regular cup of drip coffee. And a can of cola, it's not even playing in the same league. This really puts into perspective just how powerful that morning brew truly is.
Okay, so let's move on. Before that coffee ever gets to you, the bean itself goes on this amazing chemical journey. It gets completely transformed from a simple little seed into the aromatic powerhouse that we all know and, desperately need.
This, right here, is where the magic happens. Roasting isn't just browning a bean. It's a super precise chemical reaction. We start with a raw, green bean that, frankly, smells pretty grassy. As you heat it up, you hit something called the first crack. You can literally hear it pop. That's the signal that sugars are caramelizing and a key reaction is starting. If you push it even further, you get to the second crack, where oils start to come out, creating those deep, smoky flavors you get in a dark roast.
And that key reaction I just mentioned, it's called the Maillard reaction. This is the exact same process that gives a steak its perfect sear and bread its delicious crust. For coffee, it's the engine that creates hundreds of the aromatic compounds that make coffee taste like, well, coffee. It's pure flavor science.
Okay, so we've got our perfectly roasted bean. Now what? The final step is extraction. This is where we use water, temperature, and time to pull all of that amazing flavor, and of course, the caffeine, out of the grounds and into our cup.
And really, there are two main ways to think about brewing. You've got immersion, like in a French press, where the coffee grounds just steep directly in the water. That pulls out more oils and gives you a really full-bodied, rich cup. Then there's the drip method, where water just passes through the grounds. That acts as a filter, giving you a much cleaner, brighter flavor profile. It's basically physics shaping your morning.
And now we get to the real heart of it. We've roasted, we've brewed, we're taking that first sip. So what is actually happening inside our heads that makes us feel so awake and focused? This is where coffee performs its greatest trick of all.
To understand the trick, you have to meet the main character in this story, a chemical called adenosine. All day long, your brain produces more and more of it. As it latches onto receptors in your brain, it tells your nerve cells to slow down, making you feel sleepy. It's your brain's natural brake pedal.
So here's the genius part. Caffeine is basically a molecular imposter. Its shape is incredibly similar to adenosine. So when you drink coffee, the caffeine rushes to your brain and slides right into all the parking spots, the receptors that adenosine was heading for. It blocks them completely. So adenosine, our sleepy little chemical, gets locked out. It can't deliver its time to slow down message, and your brain just keeps on firing like it's wide awake.
This is the perfect way to picture it. Caffeine isn't giving you energy. It's a bouncer at the door of your brain's receptors. It physically stops the tired guy, adenosine, from getting inside. And with that party pooper kept out, your brain's natural stimulants, like dopamine, get to run wild. And that's what creates that feeling of alertness and focus we crave.
So, knowing that this powerful brain hack is happening every time we have a cup, it's probably worth taking a second to zoom out. Let's finish up by thinking about our overall relationship with this amazing and kind of sneaky molecule.
And the science is pretty clear. It's a balancing act.
On the one hand, coffee is linked to better focus, improved athletic performance, even some potential long-term health benefits. But on the other hand, we've all been there, the jitters, the anxiety, or that night you just can't fall asleep. The real takeaway here is that when you understand the science, you can be more intentional and self-aware about how you use it.
So the next time you pick up your mug, you'll know exactly what's going on, from the Maillard reaction that created the flavor to the molecular impersonator hacking your brain. The only question left is, with this new understanding, what does that cup of coffee really mean to you? Thanks for diving in with me.